Hey guys, it's Brad Williams. We're back again here, and today is a very special episode. We have a very special guest. I'm very excited to say that we have head coach Mark Stoops of the University of Kentucky Wildcats football team. And so not only is he an outstanding coach on the field, he is also a partner and majority owner of the old William Tarr bourbon line. So we're here to kind of cut up back and forth a little bit about the two brands we're carrying that's out in the market. So first off, thanks, Mark, for coming to see us today. We really appreciate it. Big fan of what you're doing on the field. And as everyone on the film knows, a big whiskey drinker, love my bourbons. Big fan of the whiskey and the bourbon. I'd had them before a little bit, got into them a little bit last night, just trying to make sure I knew what was happening. And it went a little further than I wanted because it was so good and delicious. Yeah. So first off, thank you. Wow. So, I'm glad you're here. You grew up in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken, and you've traveled around the United States coaching football. Were you into bourbon and whiskey before you came to Lexington, or did you get converted by the masses when you came in and you had no choice but to get into bourbon and try to figure out what exactly was going on there in Lexington, Kentucky?
Well, first off, thank you, Brad. I appreciate you having me. It's great. Had a beautiful day to drive up here to Louisville and come to this beautiful store, so thank you to you and to Jonathan. It's great to be here and spend some time with you. And definitely an acquired taste for me. No, when I got to Kentucky, I really didn't drink too much bourbon when I did back in the day. Maybe during my Wyoming days. I coached at Wyoming for a few years, so maybe back in the day sipped on a little bourbon with some Coke in it. But right. Won't tell too many people in Kentucky about that. But definitely during them, going on 8 years, going on 9. So it's been some time here in Kentucky, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, and certainly got into the bourbon right away. It's so popular in Lexington and all throughout the state, and definitely an acquired taste, and I've enjoyed.
So if you can you talk to us a little bit about how did you end up involved with Old William Tarr? It's got, if I remember correctly, this is an old distillery, like 1865 and 1869. Yeah. It goes way back, and you guys kind of got together and have revitalized this brand. So what was the genesis of that?
Yeah, it really was. When I was approached to get involved with this, I want to say it was the original Ashland Distillery down on Manchester Street. And that's, that intrigued me right away, the history of this particular bourbon and the revival of Old William Tarr. And, I've grown to like the bourbon. And when I was approached by this company and I got to tasting it, I really liked what I tasted. And again, I love the rich history of this. And if you go back to Ashland Distillery, it's the first registered distillery in the state of Kentucky. So that was intriguing to me, and the product itself. And I thought we had a really good team of people that were involved in it. And really right now we're just trying to take it to another level. So it's been a lot of fun.
I'd agree with you. And one of the things over the years for me with bourbon has been the history. And you guys nailed with this. There were some things I just didn't know after kind of looking into it a little bit. And if you're a live music fan, go to Manchester Music Hall. Apparently that it's still a remaining part of the original distillery is the old bonded warehouse number 1. And so I think you guys did a great job. William Tarr, and this is my favorite part, is he was originally a watermelon salesman. So he's a hustler. Yeah. he was ready to hustle to make some coin back in the 1800s. So I love that part. And when you get into these whiskeys, which are great, by the way, and this one was a revelation for me. Yeah. The 7-year. First, I thought it was such a 7-year whiskey. You dig into it, it's 7-year-old bourbon, 8-year-old rye, which you don't see that a lot, which I thought was one of the coolest things, was that taking rye whiskey and bourbon whiskey and put them together into this thing. At first, you'd be like, oh, it's going to be terrible, and it's just not. It's so kind of bourbon up front, rye at the end. It's rich. It's got tons of flavor. I was, I don't want to say I was pleasantly surprised, but I just kept drinking it, and I kept going back to it. And I even got into the 12 at one point, and I went back to this. And my wife said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going back to this 7-year. It was so good." And one thing I noticed on this, this one is 114 proof, and this is 120 proof. Which is the way I like to drink bourbon, because my theory being you can always add water, or you can add ice, or you can put it in a cocktail, whatever you want to do. Was that something you guys really focused on? Was a little bit more strength, a little bit more oomph to what you're getting?
Well, let me say I appreciate you describing it because you can do it much more eloquently than I can. That's for sure. I just know I like what I'm tasting, and certainly with the Manchester Reserve, I mean the word that comes to mind is very complex to me.
Yes.
Just a lot going on, but very drinkable, very easy, and certainly with the 12-year-old, you're right. So I know people use that all the time, but that's an easy drink.
Yes.
You
Especially
don't,
120, it doesn't taste like
you
it's that
don't feel
strong.
that proof at all.
No.
But with the Manchester Reserve, certainly, for me, putting it on Ice Cube, I like it that way. But yeah, I think that was the intent. The longer I'm here, and it seems like each year, it seems like it's getting higher and higher proof with the true bourbon connoisseurs like yourself. So
It's a slippery slope.
I'm glad to hear that you like it.
It's a slippery slope,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you something. For me, I was thinking about this, and we'll just pretend for a second. Let's say you just got done whooping the Tennessee Volunteers up and down the field at Neyland Stadium. Game over. You're back home. You're on the bus. Whichever you're doing. How are you celebrating with William Tarr? Are you drinking it neat? You putting a cube in it, which made me think of it when you said it. Are you having cocktails? How exactly is Coach Stoops enjoying his bourbon?
Coach Stoops likes the Tar on a cube.
Yeah.
Definitely like it on a cube. I like just about all the bourbon. I know maybe the longer I'm here and the more I get used to it, I could drink it neat like yourself. And I do drink it neat once in a while, but I certainly like it on an ice cube. Yeah.
For me, sometimes I drink it neat. I usually have a huge glass of ice water.
And
then I either go back and forth, or if I have to drop a little water in it, or I guess it's my own fingers, pour a little cube out into the glass. So I just think that's the beauty of what you guys did at this proof. 114 and 120, while it could be too much for some or just enough for others, you can put water in it. You can put ice in it. You can make a cocktail. Fred No used to say from Jim Beam, drink it however you want, we'll make more.
That's right.
And to your point, I just want to say, I do sort of subscribe to what you're saying is, if you like it, that's all that matters. And you like it, right? So it's kind of like, if you like it and no one else likes it, that's great. If everyone loves something, you're like, that stuff is terrible, that's fine, because it's really up to you personally with your palate, or like fingerprints. So if you like it,
without a doubt, and that really was something that got me hooked on it right from the start, is I really thought it was an incredible bourbon right from the beginning. And I want to say they hooked me on the 12-year to start with. I tasted that right away, and that's kind of a no-brainer.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's what we're up to. You're like, I want to be involved. Thank you.
And then with the Manchester, they did a great job of fooling around with that and finding the right blend. And like you mentioned in the beginning, there's a lot of 8-year bourbon in that as well.
And I'll tell you, I've done some amateur blending with people over the years, different things. It's not easy. So whoever in the background there put this together did a great job, because you think, oh, this tastes like this and this tastes like this. I'm gonna pour it in here half and half. It never works out that way. So somebody did an outstanding job putting this together, because it starts. I mean, it really is. This will sound funny. It's bourbon up front. It's rye in the rear. It's delicious.
Well, I take your word for it. You're the expert. You taste a lot more bourbons than I do, so I appreciate the fact that you like it.
I try to. I'm
I'll tell you
fortunate
this.
they let me do this.
I don't think people are just telling me what I want to hear, but just about everybody I come in contact with that drinks it really likes it, and that makes me happy.
And it should. You should be proud. I tried it when it came out in samples, and I didn't even know you were involved. Huge Wildcat fan. Sorry, Cardinal friends. But I thought, I'll try this. It's good. We put it in some stores, and it was after the fact. So on my own, I thought it was really good. And then so I knew we were doing this, so I picked up some bottles, and I went to town on them a little bit. Like I said, more than I thought. I just kept going back to the well.
Good.
And it's really good. My wife liked this one. This was her favorite. So she's just now approaching that, and she'll put a little cube in it too. I've trained her well through the pandemic. She got stuck at home with me all year, and instead of going to distilleries or stores, she was my little guinea pig of like, no, I'm not doing this by myself. Get in here.
That's great.
She thinks she knows what I like. And she's usually right.
Good.
So, all right. So the 12-year is delicious. There's not a lot of this going around. It even says collector worthy, and it is. What's next? You guys have plans for something else? You're going to just keep developing these?
We do.
Special release?
We do. We have a 4-year coming out here in the fall. So we're
so an every day. Can you tell us what the proof of that is?
Not sure yet. Still fooling with it a little bit, but looking forward to coming out with the 4-year and maybe coming down in price a little bit, which
Sure.
will be good. Yeah.
You put stuff out, it's really high end, you gain consumers, and then you put out an everyday bourbon for everybody at a more reasonable price point that you can just kind of be that bourbon at the bar or the bourbon in the old fashioned.
Yeah, that's what we're planning.
So what's going on at the distillery? I knew you guys had a space down there in the distillery area with Goodfellas and that really super cool spot there in Lexington.
Yep.
Is that open? Is it set to be open? Is there
Yeah,
plans
it's not finished yet. We can sell bourbon out of that location right now, but right now we're concentrating on making the best bourbon we can and getting it on shelves and getting some sales going before we sink more into the actual distillery area itself.
Awesome. So you've got your own bourbon.
Yeah.
Are people tapping on your shoulder? Are they like, hey, Coach, get me some bourbon? Are the guys on the team, they're turning 21, or they just graduated, like, hey, Coach, where's my bourbon?
There's definitely been a few requests, but I'm happy about it, really. I really like the product. First and foremost, that's the big thing. And is everybody that I've given it to or have tried it has really liked it. But it's a great gift for sure. I love giving it to some friends. So all your brothers got
the 7-year in a stocking at Christmas, right?
Well, that's right. They're just starting with the 7-year. They're not from Kentucky right now anyway, so they don't know what they're drinking right now anyway. They were starting to get into it a little bit, but yeah, we gave them the 7-year. I don't have enough of the 12-year to pass around yet.
Yeah, you keep that for yourself sometimes, right? Do you have that? No,
that's
completely
right.
out. Isn't that what you're drinking?
That's
no,
right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
So.
Well, all right. So I really appreciate you coming to talk to us today.
Yeah.
Give us a little more color on Old William Tar and your involvement there. So I'm going to pick up this 12 because I love it. Ready to cheers? Ready to have a sip of your own bourbon?
Absolutely. Again, I can't thank you enough.
Cheers.
I really like hearing that you're enjoying the bourbon, and appreciate you promoting us a little bit today. So thank you for having me. Cheers.
No problem. Thank you, Coach.
You got it.
We'll see you next time, guys.